Hello, 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 hello. How are you? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the podcast. How have you been? I have been good as well. What have you been doing? I hope everything is fine. I hope that you are looking forward to the best because you are that girl. You are doing what needs to be done. If nobody's patting you on the back, pat yourself. The fact that you wake up every morning being your authentic self, being yourself, doing what needs to be done, you should be saying to yourself, I am doing wonderfully well, because waking up every day is success. I was listening to something the other day and someone was having these conversations where they said that peace of mind is success. And I agree. Totally. I totally agree. Having peace of mind is a success. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this in the sense that since coming out and being who I am authentically around certain people that may be, say, family members and friends and things like this, I have peace of mind. That's why some of the insults that I receive all the time doesn't really bother me, if that makes any sense. Okay, there is nothing wrong with helping people. Nothing wrong with that. It is perfectly okay to be kind, show compassion, show empathy, and want to do good for people. But what is horribly wrong is when people disrespect who you are, hate you for who you are, but want your money. Or when people try as much as possible to make you feel guilty in the process of asking you for help. As someone that has gone out of my way, bent backwards to help relatives, friends, and things like this, maybe because of something in me is trying to seek validation from them, I have learned my lessons. I'm not saying that every help that I have offered to a friend or a relative has to do with who I am. It's just that I'm a good person. And sometimes people can take your kindness for weakness. And once you show me that, that will be the end of it. So obviously, we are on social media and a lot of people come sometimes, especially on TikTok, to ask for help. And I have had so many experiences of people who have really, really been mean to me extremely. And then they are in my DM asking me for help. And we have, as a collective, assisted a lot of people. A particular case in mind, I will never forget, because this particular individual, I just felt that like they were lying. And I just was like, I'm not going to do anything. As someone that has been of help to people and I find out that they've lied, it can be really, really annoying. But that will never, ever stop me from doing something for anyone. But what I don't like is when you are not helping because maybe you have some financial obligation. We all have problems. Everyone. I have relatives, you have nephews and nieces, you have people in your life, you have bills to pay. You may not even have it like that. And people just assume because of they see you on a platform and people are there, they just feel like, oh, they are entitled for you to help them. And what I don't like is when people are there, all of a sudden they will be like, help them, help them. Why are you asking so many questions? Like, it's okay for people on the panel or everywhere to ask questions because money is hard. Life is not easy. You want to ask questions and make sure that someone is not lying. As we were having conversations the other day, one of my people was like, yes, she is fab. They are fab. Said, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And the questions, I feel like it comes from a valid place, knowing how people can move. And I feel like there's nothing wrong for you to say those things or ask those questions. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not saying that you should or you shouldn't, because so many things can be true at the same time. And I have gotten to a point whereby I've done things for people, and if I'm doing things for people, I'm not going to say who I did it for. If I don't have it, I'm going to tell you that I don't have it. But what you're not going to do is make me feel bad because you're asking for help and I'm not able to offer that. As someone that is who I am, I have gone through life and I continue to go through life with not having any assistance or support from either family, friends, and things like this. And I am still here standing. So the reason why I'm saying this is that I receive a lot of horrible, weird messages. Why are you asking me for help after insulting me and you're calling me a woman? Some people are just dickheads. You can clearly see that I'm a man. Why are you calling me a woman? I will read you one of the most bizarre messages that I have received recently. I know I'm going, I will still get into this. I will get into this topic, but I just want to update you of what's happening because I just feel like I should share. And this message, I've read this message to a few people on TikTok Live, actually. This message is weird and disrespectful at the same time, but you're asking me for money. This is just a prime example of some of the weird messages that I receive all the time. I have over 1,000 of messages like this in my inbox. And 90% of these people have really been homophobic towards me, towards queer people, and all of these things. But they want our money. It says, good morning, ma'am. Hope you slept well. I really admire you and your kind heart. Aloud. Ma'am, please, if what I want to say will offend you, I'm really sorry. I used to send requests when you are on live, but I have never been lucky. Please, ma'am, I really need your help. I'm from Taraba State, but I came to hustle in Lagos. I didn't get a better job, and my sister is in the university, and I'm the only source of income. I don't even have what to eat. Please, ma'am. Do you know what? Normally, to be quite frankly, I would help. Absolutely. But why are you calling me a woman? I know this is not going to cost me a lot. I don't owe anybody anything whatsoever. But why are you calling me a woman? Oh, Richie. Hey, Namo. Ndị ichie ahụsiela m anya. Nsogbu dị. There is problem. Why are you calling me a woman? Anyway, I just thought I should share. I am going to say this. Things like this should never stop you from helping people when you have it. And I will never stop. But what you're not going to do is make me feel like shit and make me feel like I'm a wicked person when I can't help. Because not being able to help at a particular moment doesn't mean you will never help. So please respect yourself. Okay, my people. Yes, yes, yes. Let's get into the topic today. Let's get into it. And I'm so thankful for all of you that have always tuned in, that listened and supported and are always behind LGBTQIA plus individuals. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. May you receive all your blessings. May you receive everything that you desire. And may you continue to blossom and grow. May your I'm going to bite my tongue. May your relatives continue to flourish. Every good thing shall come your way. So let's get into what we're talking about. So, literally, I need to go into the complexities of family, cultural expression. What is wrong with you, Charlie boy? Yeah. Can you not pronounce words? Let's begin again. The complexities of family, cultural expectations, and coming out, like my literal experience, the way people have moved. It has been higgy haga. It has not been nice. It has not been kind. It has not been kind. So there's a lot of things with this. I feel like should I say we? Let me just say as a people, right? It is absolutely disheartening to see that people forget where we come from. That we as African people, especially the Igbo people, the Yorubas and things like this, our spirituality and culture operates based on duality, fluidity, and balance. Stay with me here, which means that people that are gender non-conforming and things like this, for instance, are revered and seen as people that are spiritually powerful. This has always been like this. Although the African culture is based on the fact that for procreation, of course, it's going to be a man and a woman, but that doesn't mean that people are not recognized as queer and things like this, especially in certain cultures in Africa, as far as it's not going to cause any problems or division. That is absolutely fine. And all of these things existed pre colonization, if you know what I mean. So, coming into this modern age with Christianity and the whole madness and all of these things, it is mad. That's why people look at someone like me, they feel like I'm recruiting people to be queer. I'm recruiting people to be trans, to be gay, to be lesbians, and all of these things. And I am going to sit where I am today and tell you that all of these things are lies. Because the truth of the matter is, you are not going to teach someone to be gay, to be a lesbian, to be queer, and all of these things. As they always say, sexuality is on a spectrum. It is. So, yeah, because the complexities of family, I will get into it. I have the ones who speak to me. I have the ones who don't speak to me, but still want my help. I have the ones who will go everywhere and tarnish my image. I have been told that I'm supposed to be making money for being a gay man. I freaking do not understand. Weird. So we're going to look at into that. I feel like coming out is not something that everyone is supposed to do. I have been very, very consistent with this. You don't have to come out. This is not something that everyone has to do. As long as you are at peace with who you are, you love yourself, you know that who you are is not wrong, that is absolutely okay. Because everyone is different. Me, I am not ashamed, and you shouldn't be ashamed. But coming out is not something that everyone has to do. Some people are okay living their lives. What I'm not okay with is some of these fucked up people, literally, who are gay, but will come and be extremely homophobic towards gay people. Let's go into the weight of family expectations. Yeah, yeah, that has haunted me for years. As a child, the things that I heard people say and all of these things. There is a lot of expectations placed on men, especially if you are an Igbo person like I am. There is a lot of pressure for you to marry, for you to have children, and these things are seen as a sign of success when it comes to our culture. And I'm not only speaking about Igbo people here, I'm speaking about Africa in general. A lot of people believe that marriage, having children, and having a family is an accomplishment. This is the reason why, for instance, you will see a lot of women who will be in relationships and men who will be in relationships and marriages where it is hell for them, but they will never, ever want to leave that situation. Because if they leave that situation, they see themselves as failures. So the pressure of getting married and having children, this is something that I face every day as someone that is somewhat visible on social media. You get people who will come to my platform, especially on TikTok lives and things like this. The question is always, are you not going to have children? Do you not want children? Are you not going to get married? Number one, having children has never, ever, ever in my lifetime been an aspiration of mine. That was nothing, that is nothing to do with my sexual orientation. I just do not want children. My dear, the truth of the matter is, it requires a lot for you to raise children. I never knew this as a child when I did not want children. But as I got older, I realized that I don't want to be responsible for any human being and not do what needs to be done for them. Look at me. I know I turned up well. I turned out well and all of these things. Do I feel like I'm satisfied? The way life has moved towards me, the things that has been done to me as a gay man and all of these things as an adult, as a child. My mother did a great job. My father did a great job to the best of their ability. But am I going to say that I am satisfied, even at my big, big age, that things has gone and have gone the way I want them to be? No. No, because some of our people, the way they raise children sometimes can be horrible. And when you speak to them about these things, they will never, ever understand in a million years. That's not saying that they are not good parents. They are, and they did what they need to do. And I was raised amazingly. But I'm saying that looking at what's happening, that's why you look at countries like Nigeria, there's a lot of children everywhere because people feel like I'm going to have so many of them and then expect them to take care of me. And other questions that I get is, why do you not think of your old age? Who is going to take care of you? Number one, my mother, even as much as she's not extremely educated, always say this to me: I just want your life to be better than mine, for you to do well for yourself, for you to be okay. I want to make sure that I equip you with everything that you need. She did that. She understands that. She understands that. And she understood. Absolutely. Because if you're having children for the right reasons, the last thing that will be at the back of your mind is them being your pension. The thing that you should be thinking is for them to be successful. This is the problem I have. I have been around a lot of Nigerians who have children and they want their children to be medical doctors, for instance, accountants, engineers, lawyers, and all of these things. But there are no provisions for them to perform better, to perform. There's no foundation. You're not giving them the tools to be successful, but you expect them to be successful. How is that fair? How is that freaking fair? Can you tell me how? Some of you are fucked up. Some of you are fucked up, extremely fucked up, because how do you expect a child to do well when you haven't given them the tools to, where there is no foundation for them to perform well? How? That is why you have the things you see every day. People resort into doing things that they are not supposed to do because they are always on survival mode. My dear, let me tell you, I don't want to have a child where that child will be struggling in any shape or form. I don't want that. I am not ready. I don't want one. Leave me when I get old. Let me suffer. Let that be my problem. I think that the Nigerian expectation and the African expectation of you wanting children, people just assume that as a gay person in a society like Nigeria, Africa, Jamaica, the Caribbean, everywhere there's people of African descent and things like this, that you being a queer person, growing up in this society can be toxic, can be difficult. I have shared this story so many times. I never knew that who I am was bad. I was enjoying myself. I was living my life until I started hearing my older brothers, uncles, aunties, and other people say things about where people. I grew up in Kanu. You will hear them say that Yanda Wudu is dirty, blah, blah, blah. That Yanda Wudu is evil. This is not something that happens here and all of these things. And I am one of them. I'm a homosexual. And I started to coil back. I went into myself because now I know that this is wrong. I should not be gay. I should not even try to show anything that will make them think that I'm one. I remember one time my brother said something that was very, very shocking. He said to me, why is it that whenever you come to people, you're so gentle? You're so nice and you keep yourself a certain way and all of these things. That is very, very gay. And I don't think that man understood what he was saying to me, but that was hurtful. And those are the things that you hear, you know, that is not nice. So I feel like as a people, we need to do better. We need to do better because if you place so many expectations on people and this pressure to marry, that's why they feel like the only way it has to be is heteronormative. This is 2025. Men marry men. Women marry women. People are in polyamory. Oh my God, I'm going to bite my tongue. What is wrong with you, Charlie boy? People are in a relationships. People have triads. There are different versions of relationships. You can adopt children if you are a gay man. The problem is that a lot of you feel like for you to be a father, you have to have a wife. If you are a man, for you to be a mother, you have to have a husband. If you are a woman, no. Technology has improved. There's so many ways to do these things. Everyone, though, is never going to have children biologically. Some people are men and women and all of these things, and they want children. They really want them, but they can't have them. This is why these questions about, are you not thinking about having children? Sometimes it's actually disrespectful and insensitive because some of you don't have common sense. You don't actually have the bandwidth to have certain conversations and you will never understand. So let me break it down to you. You don't need to father a child to be a dad. You don't need to be someone's biological mother to be a mom. This is something some of you need to understand, and you need to start understanding that as quickly as possible, expeditiously. Do that. Start to learn and start to unlearn some of the bullshit that you've learned over time. Because the thing is, the things that you say and how you move actually is bad for society. This is why some of you adults, we have younger children. Like the conversation I had with this lady that came the other day on TikTok Live, and she was worried about a child that lives in the neighborhood, blah, 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 that acts like a girl. And she was saying something about if she finds out that her daughter is gay or son is gay and things like this, that she's going to have problem with it. She will try to change them. And she was saying something about her sister as well, being masculine, presenting girl. Do you know what I mean? And I said to her, what does it matter? What does it matter if your sister is gay? It doesn't really matter. What you should be thinking about is how to be closer to her, how to make her feel good, and all of these things. You should be worried about what people may do to her that are wayward with no common sense. That should be your problem. And she was worried about this. She was worried about this. There is no need for you to worry if you have a relative that is gay or lesbian or queer. It is not a curse. It is not a taboo. It is not a sin. There is no amount of prayers that will ever change someone to become straight. None. And I feel like a lot of you parents who tend to turn against your gay children, your LGBTQIA plus children, who don't love them unconditionally, you never wanted a child. You just wanted someone to take care of you. Because some of you have failed in life, you go ahead to have children and thinking that your children is going to be your success. And when they don't do the things that you want them to do, it becomes a massive problem. That is not how you raise a human being. That is not how you raise a child. You shouldn't be living through your child. Because some of you have failed. And you feel because you have failed, having a child is your accomplishment. That's why you force your children to become doctors. You force your children to become lawyers, accountants. If you were someone that wanted to be a model and you failed, you have a child, you're pushing them. You want them to go into modeling to live through your child. Go and have several seats, okay? Love your children no matter what. Love them. My coming out experience, it is something that a lot of people are scared of. So I am going to come into mine. I will explain this. But most people who don't really come out has to do with fears, challenges, and emotions. And for me, coming out, there were a lot of emotions leading up to that. I got to a point where in my life, I said, I'm not going to bend backwards to please society because it was making me miserable. I got to a point where I stopped being friends with a lot of my friends because it's always like you get to gatherings. Where is your girlfriend? What of your wife? When are you going to get married? What are you doing? And I kept lying. I said this in the last episode. One of the lies I told one of my brother was making up a name. Kimberly. I always say that name. That's the name I was given. I got to a point where it was just not mentally okay for me to do that anymore. Because all I was doing is wherever I go to in Manchester, I will go to a gay bar or gay sauna sometimes that I have been to. I will always panic. I will always feel like somebody may be here that will know my brother. And I was fine with who I am. But because of my family, I kept feeling like they are going to know blah, 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 blah. And this was emotionally draining for me. I got to a point where I said, I'm not going to be living my life for you. You don't pay my bills. Who the fuck do you think you are? You're going to move mad anyway. You've been doing that every freaking time. And that is not okay. I am going to be myself. If you don't want to love me, don't love me. Just go. Because I got to a point where I realized that some of my brothers do not love me unconditionally. They don't. Because if you love me, my sexuality is never going to make you to not speak to me. So I feel like for every queer person, is the fear, is the challenges, is the shame, is the you being in a situation where you feel like you're going to be ostracized. And I wasn't having that. Now, the price to pay is peace of mind. If the price for me to pay that I came out is peace of mind, that is absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Because this is a price that I have paid. And that price that I have paid has made me feel good. Good. Amazing about myself. I feel good. I know everyone is not as strong as me because, boy, I have withstood shit. Do you know what it feels like? You standing in a market square where everyone in your village is throwing every kind of nonsense at you, spitting on you, stoning you, and all of these things. That is the barrage of hate and insults and misery that I have been heaped upon by some of my relatives. And still I rise. Still I rise. I'm here. I know I have my bad days where I no longer do that anyway, where I used to ask myself questions. I'll ask myself questions because I'm someone that always wanted the answers and things like this. But it got to a point where I was like, I don't need to be asking for these questions and answers because there's no need. Why am I seeking for answers and validation and acceptance where I am not going to get it? I'm never going to get this. So when I came out, I am sharing a personal story. I think I mentioned this already. When I came out, I lost friends. I lost some families. That's what it's going to be. And that's what it is. If they come back tomorrow and want to speak to me, I don't know how I feel. Maybe I will speak to them. But I lost friends. One of my friends, the reason why I will never speak to this person anymore was what he said about his child. That was crossing the line for me. So, yeah, I feel like a lot of gay people, LGBTQIA plus individuals, the reason why a lot of people don't want to come out is the fear of rejection. It is emotional. It is challenging. It can be horrible. It can feel alone, especially if you are at a stage in your life where you are not able to take care of yourself financially and otherwise. That can be horrible. So I had a lot of family reactions, different reactions actually. My sisters are fine with me. They call me even this morning, today. My sister was sending me voice notes about things and asking how I am because she's busy with her business and work and things like this. And then I sent voice note back. My other sister, the same. My nephew from my sister and niece from my sister, okay with me. My brothers are not. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to have family members who will stand by your side, and you're going to have the ones who will never speak to you. I have a particular cousin, one of my cousins, has been so supportive. It's not even an issue that I'm gay. It's not an issue for him at all. Our relationship just continued as normal. When I said certain things to him about certain relatives of mine, do you know what he said to me? Why do you speak to them? There is no need. Delete their number. At the time, he doesn't even know that I have blocked one of my brothers. And I said, I did. I did. I have gone through stages where I used to be really, really down about one particular brother of mine, especially because that one was like, I felt like this man will always be amazing to me. I felt like he will always be amazing to me. I don't know what happened, but whatever it is, I know the answers. And you know, yeah. The problem for especially one of my brother, and this is with society in general, is the impact of societal and religious influences on family. So this society, the societal here or society, however you want to call it, is intertwined with religion influences. And this is some of this evangelical radical nonsense. Because the truth of the matter is, if you're from Africa and you understand the Ifa, you understand the Igbo culture, you understand the Orisha, you understand the African culture, which I'm not going to go into in details here, you understand that homosexuality is not wrong. Homosexuality is a natural variation of human sexuality. Okay? So, in the Igbo cosmology and the Yoruba cosmology, we believe in Oduduwa, Orisha, Ifa, and all of these things. Is it Obalata? It's called. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then you look at the Igbos, we believe in Chukwu, Ikenga, Ndiche, which is the ancestors. We believe in Allah or Ani. We believe in Amadioha. You know, some of these people, because of the influx of Christianity and colonization and all of these things, they just feel like this is not our culture. When you ask them, they will be explaining religion to you without knowing. So some of these things are to be blamed, but I'm never going to feel bad for who I am because who I am is wonderful. Who I am is great. I love myself. If you're never going to love yourself, who is going to love you? I think that because of the way the whole thing went, at one particular point in time in my life, I felt like I lost hope, trust, and belief. It felt like I didn't know who I was and who I am. And I said to myself, oh, sir, you know yourself. You know who you are. Why are you here allowing these mofos to make you feel less than human? Because some of these people who do these things actually do not understand humanity. Because homosexuality and queerness is everywhere, both in plants and in animals. You know what really, really grinds my soul sometimes? When you speak to some of these people, especially when they ask you certain questions, leading questions, where they come from a place of, I am morally above you. That you being queer, being LGBTQIA+, being gay, being a lesbian makes you morally inferior. And I'm looking at them, you are crazy. You are brainwashed. You are suffering from extreme case of religious psychosis. You are a Dululu queen and you don't have an idea. You have no fucking idea. Because if you do, you will know that you're stupid. You are the one that is with no common sense. And my dear, yes, I'm going to be fabulous. I'm going to be fab. I am being my own kind of way, my own kind of beautiful. I am who I am. So that's what I look at. And I'm like, no, it's just religious influence on family. And they respond to it negatively without actually loving their child. Because if you understand your religion, which some of you do not understand, you understand that it's about love. It is about care. It is about compassion. It is about being non-judgmental. And some of you are fucked up. You are fucked up because what you do is you just select your nonsense and you do your nonsense in the way you want to do it. And that is not my problem. Can we just talk about navigating family relationships post coming out? And in this situation, I'm just saying for every one of you, me included, set boundaries, especially with your unsupportive family members. Set boundaries. Tell them, I am in Abuja, stay in Lagos. Life no easy. Like Burna Boy say, life is no easy, stay at Abuja, make a de Lagos. So, like, let them be over there. Love them from afar if you care. Let me tell you, Because someone is your family doesn't mean that that person has to be in your life. Doesn't mean that you have to assist and help them. Doesn't mean you have to be speaking to them. You can cut ties. I feel like this whole thing about clan, about extended family in our culture is the things that make people say shit. That is why I wrote a blog post where I said that blood is thicker than water is one of the biggest scams ever. Just because of you shared a womb with someone doesn't mean they will love you unconditionally. So set boundaries, especially if they are not supportive. So for me, I have cousins who know that I'm gay, are not supportive of me, but they want me to do something for them. I'm like, be over there. Be over there. Leave me the fuck alone. Because all of you think that my nyansh is open, that all I do is sleep with men, that everything about me being gay is sex, 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 sex. Anytime you think about me, you're thinking about how I'm wearing diapers and all of these things. That's all you think about. You see me as dirty. You see me as not being the right thing. You see me as bringing shame to your family. You see me as taboo, but you want my money. No, create boundaries. They call you, don't answer them. The best thing that has happened about technology is do not disturb. Put their freaking number on do not disturb. Archive their number on WhatsApp if possible. They message you, is there. Or the worst thing is, the best thing, not the worst, is you read the message, they know you read it, but you don't reply. Yes, girl, do it. You need to find allies within your family as well. Because there are some people in your family who actually support you. I said that earlier on the podcast that my cousin, a cousin of mine, my sisters, and my nephew and my niece, they are my allies. They support me. My nephew will speak to my guy and all of these things. You need to find allies within your family. I don't know about the possibility of rebuilding relationships over time. For some of you, you may wonder. For me, I don't know. I don't actually know. I think that for me, one of my brother maybe, just maybe, just maybe, but I don't know because the things that has happened, I don't know. But try to see if you can rebuild a relationship with your family over time. If you can do that, but it's not compulsory that you do that. It's not compulsory. For me, I have my family, my friends, in my friends, in my chosen family, in my support system, and things like this. And that is important to me. I think that I have built a tough skin over time where a lot of things doesn't really bother me anymore. I'm not saying that I'm numb. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that it gets to a point in your life where you develop a mechanism on how to handle things and just let it past you, you know? And that's what I have done. Yeah. Because I am who I am. And who I am is not wrong. I love me. We love us for real. Finding chosen family and community is absolutely important. It is important. The importance of seeking love and support outside of your biological family is something that we look at and we think that is not massive. It is massive, I swear. Oh my God, my leg is, because of the way I'm sitting, my leg is giving me higgy and haga. You know, it's important because let me tell you, I have some people in my life that have done things for me that none of my siblings have ever done for me. And they are people I never knew from anywhere. I just met them along the way and we became friends and we became family. They show me love and support like never before. I can be vulnerable with them. I can tell them my secrets. I can have conversations with them honestly and genuinely, and they will advise me. And that conversation will just be there. You know, like, and some of you need to be careful when you're doing this because there's some people who will say to you that I care, but they are not good people. They want to be around you to get the information that they want and use it against you. They don't want to be in community with you. So you need to be careful when you are creating these communities. But for me, I have been lucky with people, and at the same time, I have been unlucky with certain people. And once you show me who you are, once, according to Maya Angelou, I will believe you. So I don't make that mistake, but it is important for you to create that and seek that because it's something that every one of us absolutely need. You want to have people that you can speak to. And at the same time, if you don't have that and you have the money, you can maybe find a therapist. But having a support system and your chosen family, as we call it, is important. You need to create a network of people who affirm you, who will affirm you, support and uplift you. Did you hear that? Who will affirm you, support and uplift you? What am I saying here? It is important for you to meet people that who don't want to be you, who are going to love you no matter what, who will support you. For instance, I'm with a man that is with me that always supports me. Whatever I'm doing, he's there. He'll be like, baby, do it this way. Let's do it like this. And he will advise me. There's been times whereby I remember this is one of the most key for me. So I went through, I got my feet. I need to. So I went through a situation with my family where I kept coming out to them over and over and over again. And at one point, it became really annoying, like, and emotionally draining at the same time. Because what I kept doing is I kept coming out, I kept explaining to them, and they kept coming back and all of these things. And the things that he said to me, I don't want to share here because they were personal. Because at this particular time, there was a particular day where I really cried. Not because of who I am alone, but because of the fact that these people feel like they have the right. And there was a part in my life that still yearned for them to be there. And that was the reason why I was crying, because I was feeling like, why shouldn't it just be like you and your family, where you are, where they are accepting and all of these things? But then I realized that no, the fuck not. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. You are not going to make me feel like this. You're not going to do that to me. And this is something that I developed myself. Like sometimes when you're speaking to people or when you go to therapy, when you're speaking to a therapist, sometimes you just will figure things out yourself. And sometimes you can know the things cognitively, but emotionally, you are not able to reconcile how you feel. And in that moment, while speaking to him, I just reconciled both things. And I'm like, no, emotionally, I'm okay. No, fuck all of you. I don't need you. I don't need you. If you're not going to have somewhat of an interdependent relationship with me as a family, why do I want to be talking to you? Let me tell you, a chosen family can play a massive role, a crucial role in your self acceptance. I will tell you something. So I came out. So when I came out, there was a particular friend of mine, I wouldn't mention his name here, that I spoke to. And most people who know that I'm gay were gay people, but he was one person that I spoke to. And he said something to me that really, really, really touched me, where I was like, wow. And what he said to me was, I know we are not biological family. We are not from the same father. We are not from the same mother. We are not even from the same village. Although we speak the same language and all of these things. But I am your family. I will always be here. Today, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, I will always be here. If it requires for me to hold hands, hold your hand, we're going to hold each other's hand. But I want you to be true to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Live your life. Be yourself. Homosexuality is just a part of who you are as straight people. Just love yourself. Live your life. Be truthful to yourself. You are not wrong. All of these things I know, but it's the fact that he said that we are family. I'm going to be here for you. If it requires for us to hold each other's hands, I'm going to be here. It was so emotional. That is a true friend. That is a true support system. And I pray and wish for each and every one of you that is listening to this podcast, whether you are aware or not, for you to have somebody, for you to have friends, be it a cousin, be it a relative, to be there for you, have your back and tell you things and support you and not judge you for being who you are. Because a lot of us navigate this world keeping up appearances. A lot of people are not themselves authentically because of fear of being judged. And I am saying this to you today. Never, ever pretend to be somebody that you are not for people to love you, because that love is not genuine. If someone is not going to love you and love the whole of you for who you are, how you are, whether you are slim, skinny, fat, huge, tall, black, white, whatever, Igbo, Hausa, Kanuri, Ibibio, whatever, from America, if that person is not going to love you the way you are, that person is not supposed to be in your life. That person is not for you. Just know this. Can we just talk about people that may be struggling with acceptance? Those of us that are afraid to come out. You need to learn that you need to start to find a way to prioritize your mental well-being, your emotional well-being, the importance of living your truth at your own pace. All of these things are important. Because if you learn how to prioritize your mental well-being, your emotional well-being, and living your truth at your own pace, that is why I always say that it's important for you to be at peace with yourself, that you do not need to come out. It is not necessarily important. But prioritizing your mental and emotional well-being will help you, because some of these relatives, society, and things like this can be draining for LGBTQIA plus individuals. Look at me. The number of insults I get, people who don't even know me from anywhere, just because that I say that I'm gay, will insult me and say the most horrible things. They think that they can break you, but they can't. You need to learn how to protect yourself. If someone, be it your mother, your daddy, your friends, your brothers, is going to be a problem for you, cut ties with them for your mental well-being. Cut ties with them. If it's not easy for you to do that immediately, wait until when you are financially capable of doing so. Because some of these people are like leeches. They will suck out the goodness out of you in the name of family. And they will lace it with religion and God. That the Bible said is bad. God said is bad. But you are being mean to a human being. And you are using the name of God to do so. Prioritize yourself. You are amazing. You are loved. We want you to be here. We want you to be here. We want you to be here. Accept yourself. Do not struggle. Accepting yourself doesn't mean it has to be announced to everyone, but it has to be living your truth at your own pace. Do it with your own time. Do it in your own time. I want to say this to you. Love who you are. Do not be ashamed. We see you. We see you. We see you. I am encouraging you here. If you are listening to this podcast and you want to comment or you want to write in to the podcast, you can always write in to info@myownKindOfWrongWay.com to share your experiences with your family and your identity. Every message is going to be read anonymously because we want to be able to help and have these conversations. And I will be quite happy for us to have conversations about these challenges and staying true to ourselves. Okay? And the next episode is going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming with us on this journey. I shall see you in the next episode. Love is love. Stay true to yourself. I have been Charles. Yes. See you in the next episode. Bye for now.